Hi, welcome again to another edition of Leadership Dialogue Podcast. I'm Chukwudinaka D. Well, last week we started a series on the coalition movement and, of course, opposition parties in Nigeria vis-a-vis Nigerian democracy and the future of elections in 2027. Well, in that conversation, we dwelled so much on the youth involvement, and that perhaps is the reason why this conversation has become really important at this time. And we want to find out how ready the youth of Nigerians are to take over our governance, probably in 2027. Well, I have a guest here. He is the national youth leader of Social Democratic Party, Dr. Uchechukwu Ogbonna. Well, he joins me in the course of this conversation, but first we would try to lay a preamble to what we are going to be discussing today. So Dr. Ogbonna will be giving us, from his own perspective, his opinion on what democracy in Nigeria should be, how Nigerian youth should be involved in democracy, and if or not the youth of Nigeria stand a chance in the future elections. Well, join me again after this break to stay.
Nigeria is at a turning point. Young people are rising, demanding change. If you believe in justice, strong leadership, and real reform, then it's time to take a stand.
At LJE Nigeria, we're not just observers, we're builders. We're tackling leadership deficits, advocating for justice reforms, and driving economic advancements for all.
As a volunteer, you won't just watch, you will be a part of it. You will gain access to powerful seminars, conferences, and mentorships from professionals who believe in your potential.
No matter who you are, whether you're a student, an entrepreneur, a professional, or someone who cares, there's a place for you here.
Network with passionate change makers, build skills, and step into leadership.
Join LJE Nigeria today. Let's lead with truth. Let's build with courage. Let's rise for Nigeria. Become an LJE volunteer today and be the change Nigeria needs. Follow all our social media handles for more details.
Well, the national youth leader, Social Democratic Party, Dr. Uchechukwu Ogbonna, is my guest, and he joins me right about now. Morning. I'm good to have you join us on this podcast. Yeah, so we'll just begin. You are a youth leader, a well-known one in that, for that matter, and a member of the Social Democratic Party. Always a privilege having you join us in this conversation. But then we would ask you, how would you rate youth involvement in electioneering in Nigeria?
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, Dave.
And it's true that I'm here today to speak, especially on behalf of the political party, the Social Democratic Party. Meet involvement in Nigerian politics have really developed. Is a process that is repeated day in, day out. From 1999 to days, actually youth involvement have been very, very slow. But as I was saying, after the 2023 general election, with my reports and the analysis we've gotten, it shows that there's a lot of awareness. The young people are becoming aware, they're becoming conscious of the environment, conscious of the power they have to elect their leaders. Because the 2023 election was an eye-opener to them. Because every time we tell them that new candidate will become a president, will become the governor, will become the senator or the House of Representatives. And it can also be both will get involved and be voted. So the last election was like a test case for them. And I found out that from that last election to date, a lot of improvement have really coming to youth awareness.
Realistically, what improvement? Because from our side of the divide, or perhaps as a mouthpiece of Nigerians, it does appear that more youths are, shying away from politics in Nigeria. And rather than getting involved, what we now see is a Japa syndrome. More youths believe that Nigeria is not workable at the moment. So when you talk about involvement, one would want to understand what you mean by involvement of youth. What percentage are we having compared to 2023?
Okay, we have a very great number percentage. Let me say 60 to 70% now. Because getting involved in politics is about participating in politics, being a party member. I've been able to find out that a lot of young people are now coming to register as party members. It doesn't happen before. They come into the office, they come into the secretary, they go to their walls, and they say they want to be party members. It doesn't. We prior to 2023. I can't see that. You come to the office, you hardly see a young guy coming into the party to say, I want to rest. But now they come in thousands, they come in good numbers that they want to really be party members.
Dr. Ogbonna, can you give us the statistics?
Okay, like in the north for now, we have over 80% of youths getting involved in politics. Let me say 80%. Because with the statistics of INEC, we have like 75% of youths and women are registered voters. And most of them are not party members before now. But what they do is, on that day of election, if you give them money, they can vote in the party they want. But I was able to find out that recently, they want to belong to the boys' party. Because I'm telling you 80%. I know the northern part is more consciously aware of politics. The south is coming up, okay? But I'll tell you, most of this data is coming from the north. They are politically aware of the environment.
Is that something when you talk about the turnout of youth from the north ranging to about 80%? Well, that's impressive if one would say. But however, we would want to find out if this turnout is as a result of the situation in northern Nigeria, the northern youth seeing this as an opportunity to retake or reclaim power and ensure that issues of security are attained in their area.
Yes, I want to tell you something. Every election season is peculiar. That's what you need to mark. Recently, we found out that this time around, nobody is listening to, unquote, elites. Whether you are a governor, you are a mayor, no. The youth wants to take the destiny of their hands. And they find AZP as that platform and that vehicle that will give them that voice that they're looking for. And as Raleigh said, apart from insecurity, there is hunger. People go to bed without eating. Young people, they don't have what to do. Nobody goes to farm. And the government is not doing anything about it. And they find out that if really they can stand to change this government, why? You need to do something. If you go to villages, they are the most convenient. And the case is so bad that a lot of young people are no longer, they no longer have anything to do. So they feel that really they can't do something and they're really aware of it.
Okay, I'll just paint this picture, which is part of the question I asked our previous guest on this show. In 2020, we saw a lot of youths coming out in their numbers during the NSAS protest, clamoring for police, the end to police brutality. And of course, they also wanted to use that period to take over the structures of perhaps parties and also see how they can be involved in leadership. But the answers or the way the Nigerian government treated them was abysmal. And, that led to the loss of lives. That led to despondency on the side of the youth. And then again in 2024, this youth also galvanized and came out again with a protest and bad governance. In the same vein, they were hit with strong disdain and backlash from the government, so to speak. How is it that the same youths who can barely protest the policies of government, how will these same youths galvanize again to seek positions in governance or to attempt to change the situation of the country?
Yes, as I told you, it's all about awareness and creating that consciousness in the local village. Then we need to find out that all you don't have not really led any positive path. The only way you can change government is an election. that is the day they call it civilian coup. You use their tongue, that's their gun, that is their strength, or that day to vote. Even if they are bringing money to buy a vote, to say, look, I want to change you. So the Nigerian youth are now beginning to tell them that it's not about making a protest. It's about standing on yourself to wait for land of election, to make your voice heard. And that is what everybody, thank God for your platform, this is what you need to advocate. That's what we are advocating for the youth. If you come out for protest, they kill you. You come out for you want to speak, the government will have their muscles to classify that, clamp you down. But until the election, you also have their power to your franchise to make a decision known that I don't like you. Your policies are killing us. The insecurity is ravaging everywhere. There is no food, there is hunger, there is no...
Without also being scared away by police presence, soldier presence at the point of casting their ballots. And
I will shock you. I'm on ground. In the last election, the polling units where I vote, we have the turnout was almost 15 people. We have almost 1,000 registered voters there. But recently in 2023, we had over 1,000 registered voters to queue to vote that particular day. I will tell you, the people is a force. When you come out to vote, nobody will alter your election. Your voice will be heard. But when you don't come out to vote, they have the room to manipulate. I tell every young people in Nigeria that nothing like rigging when you come out to their drops to vote. Nobody can alter election. In the presence of police, we are the people that determine who are employing those people. We are employing the governor, we are employing the president. We elect you, we are giving you the position. And with our members in the youth, how many people can you keep? We are coming that day. That day is the only day we will have the power to tell them that we don't like Poyad within the NECO. And nobody can stop it. So that is the product. So why are you coming out on a protest where you know that you don't have any, where people can think their advantage to kill you, and for us to
so, are you in any way discouraging protests?
No, I'm not discouraging protest. It's a good one. But it's also going to be a point for us to organize ourselves and make our voice heard. Especially, let's also put more energy on election. Be belonging to a political party, registering to a political party, aligning with the ideology of the party, getting involved. As I say earlier, politics is about getting involved. You don't stay outside to custody. Or you must get involved. Tell them, sir, I want to be part of this party and I want to be part of the administration. Even if you are coming from the ward, we have different conditions from the wards to the local government to the state to the nation. There are a lot of positions for you to be involved in this criminal politics. Don't stay out and be a party man. Get involved in politics. Make sure that you are part of the people that will elect people that will be to represent the party.
Apparently, change is not gotten from the outside.
No.
But you have to be part of the kitchen cabinet to make the supposed change.
No kitchen per se. In politics and the political party administration, it's more like numbers. It's a game of numbers. It's not a game of kitchen cabinet. It's a game of number. Now, the number is on the delegates, which youths can say, okay, who are one of us to be in House of Ebiamba? When the delegates, we are going to be more delegates if we are involved in politics, and we're going to be a neck or 1% to represent. So, the party administration is more of a game of number, and it's more a game of number than a game of man no man or kitchen cap. So that's where the strength of the youths lies, which they are missing, because on the day of the primary, they can determine who will become the candidate of the party, and on the day of the election, they can also determine who wins the election.
Well, in 2023 or 2023 election can better be adjudged as an election that saw more or less a tsunami of youth representation, youth coming out in their numbers, supporting candidates obviously, and saying it's time we make a statement. But given today's situation in Nigeria, can such be repeated or said of the coming election in 2027? Are we going to see the same number of youths come out, standing, queuing behind candidates and saying enough is enough? Would we see that?
I will tell you that it's going to even be more.
How?
The situation is worse. The insecurity is worse. There is no food. The economic policy of the government is biting everybody. It doesn't have any human face. Like my chairman might say, the crisis we have in Nigeria is man-made. It's not a natural disaster. It's a man-made disaster. It can be controlled. It can be resolved by a human being. If it's a natural disaster, you might say that it's God-made. But this is man-made. It's a lot of bad policies that somebody is bringing on board. Now, let me tell you, come 2027, I promise you that a lot of young people have made up their mind to come out to vote. For, I guess, I don't know, but their mind is made up. Because I told you I'm an operator. I interact more with a lot of young people that are angry, they are all happy. And they said, even 2023 is going to be more big. In 2027, they are going to show themselves now, because some of the things that transpired in 2023, where there was a glitch or whatever, it's not going to happen this time. They will stay, vote, protect their vote, escort their vote, make sure their result is counted and announced. Because that's what we always advocate. When you come to vote, after voting, make sure you protect yourself. Stay at a recommended INEC recommended distance. Escort your vote to the collection center and stay there to make sure that your voice is heard.
Realistically, will this be the situation, given that in today's political arena in Nigeria, we tend to see more youths now galvanizing or perhaps tilting towards the APC, and then the popular candidates for the APC, which is the president of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And what we see is that the president's son, Sheyi Tinubu, has been able to, gather some good number of youths. And from the feelers we are getting, some youths are giving credence to the current administration. And for them, he has done tremendously well. So when you say youths would come out in their numbers to kick against this administration, how do we juxtapose that?
No, politics is a game where propaganda flies about.
So what is happening with the APC is propaganda?
It's pure propaganda.
How so?
I'm telling you. Okay, we go to the same markets. We have a research department in the party. I want you to take your time. We'll have this analysis on ground. Go to the market, go to any market, and ask any young person, hawking or a cobbler, ask him what his mindset is about the administration. All those cosmetics, media, propaganda used are supporting the president or supporting the president's administration is not true. You need to really go down to the grassroots and ask what is happening. I think it's like a smooth screen. It's like somebody's trying to paint a picture of what you want to get what they want from you. That is politics. But the real team on ground, as of speaking to you, a lot of youths are not happy because they cannot even go back to their homes. They can't go to farm. They don't have any employment. And you say they are supporting, have any Aussie number. What number? A lot of things are happening. If they tell me they don't know what is happening around, I think it's wickedness. Because as a governor, as a president, you should be able to have a first-hand information of how the people that you're holding or your governor feels. The president always said, I can feel your pain. You show that Nigerians are passing through pain. So the party that are coming to give us the narrative that a lot of youths are supporting, I think the person is disobeying. The person is really disobeying. Because I'm saying the fact that when you go to the streets of Nigeria, both the north and the south, have an independent interview or independent feelers of what young people are saying. What do you think about this administration? They will be their mindset. Because the situation is worse than what it was even in 2023 when he presented additional trade.
Another situation we have on ground is the agitation from youths seeking an alternative, credible political party. For many youths, the APC has failed. The PDP has also failed. Labour Party, which was believed as of 2023 to be, so to speak, more like an alternative for the youth, at the moment is enmeshed in internal wranglings. So now, the space is open. Where will this youth fall back to? Which party would become the voice for the youths?
I I always tell somebody that even if you like have your own political party and you don't really, the ideology of the party do not align with giving the youth the presence they need or the voice they need to have, you still go back to Spurs you. I would speak for Social Democratic Party. I don't know what the ideology of other parties are about their pleasure. What the national chairman and I should not say that or put in place in the party is to keep the party back to nearest to create to get control of it. And I want to make it a privilege of use to what I started. What he's trying to do, when he came in as chairman, he deliberately started putting the youth in sensitive issues, especially state children, making them include the roles of administration. It's a deliberate attempt on the chairman to give them that mindset, that power, to understand that you need to start building yourself, building your consciousness of how to rule on leadership. And that is what the SDP is here to do. The chairman is, I think, the youngest chairman of a party. He's younger than all these basic people in court. And he himself is a product of the old guards that built him into what he is as a young person to take over. So he has that mindset that this country cannot be better. This country cannot know if we do not really get the youth to be at the treasury seat. That is what SDP is giving every other person. So that is our mindset. So if you come to the party, for example, SDP now, as a young people, we move in troops to come in. As I said, it's a game of lumber. You find out that you're going to be involved in the elective who represents you. That's what political party is, especially the political party that put their doors for you to enter, to give you a level playing ground, to participate in the process of the politics.
A strong coalition, a strong northern coalition is brewing. And this coalition is seeking a driving force, like a vehicle that will drive them to power. And then the SDP is an option. So if the SDP is opening its doors to the youth, how about the Northern Coalition?
I think it's not really a modern coalition. It's a national coalition. It's not a north. It's not Israel at the north. It's a coalition of like minds in Nigeria that are able to sit down to say things are not going the way it should be. And we need a common ground. We need a common platform, a political party or a platform to bring in a better alternative that will be people-oriented, that will have that consciousness that this is about the people.
Has the SDP opened its doors?
Definitely. We're in a coalition. We'll be talking, we'll have series of meetings with stakeholders that is involved in this coalition. And that's why I say the coalition is not really a northern agenda. It's not really a northern coalition. It's a coalition of the likes of Atiku, P2B, Amechi, AO5. So you see now it's a north-south issue, it's a national coalition program. So SDP are being on the talk, and SDP is interested to see Nigeria how the pick up things.
So if this national coalition, like you call it, yes, settle or approach the SDP to be its driving power, is the SDP open to it?
Of course, as I'm thinking we're already in a talk with the coalition. It's not like we've already opened our doors. We've already opened the doors for the coalition to come in and get us. They've done analysis of what is on ground, and they've seen how open we are, even to the point that some hierarchies of the party are saying, okay, fine, for the interest of the nation, one or two positions, okay, so let's assimilate. We call it infusion. Let people come in. We adjust ourselves. People get involved. As I say, it's about getting involved, being at the driver's seat, getting involved in the administration of the party, and SDP is open to it.
Now, the reason I ask this question is, given your trail of thoughts, you have talked about how SDP is open to a youthful presidency. Yes. Now, when you look at the national coalition, what we have are the old guards. So if we have the old guards at the national coalition, and then the SDP is also open to the youth coalition, isn't that causing a bit of confusion?
No, it's not causing a bit of confusion. Another thing you need to know that politics requires that afford. I'll tell you something.
So the youths cannot provide such funding?
They can if they have like crowdfunding and they can come together with them.
How about youthful presidents?
Of course. That's what I'm saying. this thing is a game of none. If the old guys are coming and the youths are coming, we don't know, you know that we have the greater number. We are going to produce more of the delegates that will elect those people that will represent us. So it is good that we'll come together, we meet the old ones, we'll come in with the new wrong ones, and we'll come and see force to see that we'll present this country a better president. If it's going to be your person, fine. But let's all have beyond that. We also need these old people to give us direction with the experience. As a young person, as I say, administration also need a bit of guidance, experience, and for you to try. So you will not say because we want the youth to come in, we will throw away the old guards completely. We also need their advice, we also need their inputs for us to be guided. Where they made mistakes, we also need to correct it ourselves and get the world to take over.
Well, for the much I know as a political journalist, politics is a game of interest.
And also a game of number.
And also a game of numbers. And which number, what number outweighs the other becomes what it becomes. So I know that in coming months, the Social Democratic Party would go in for its national convention. And that is where most of these issues, the issue of who takes leadership, in the party comes up. Before then, would approach the primaries and all of those coming, by the following year. So while we look at the interest on one side and then the numbers, I'm kind of worried because the youth we know do not have this without to push some of their interests, even though they are interested. And given the fact that you are a youth leader and you have been involved in youth movement, you would also agree that not a few youths believe that a time has come that youths take the driving seats of politics in Nigeria. It will look back in the days, like during the military era, dovetailing to the Fourth Republic. We saw more youthful presidents. When Ibrahim Babangida became the president of Nigeria, the head of state of Nigeria, I believe he was in his 30s there. So how is it that we can have a youth probably in their 30s or 40s drive leadership in Nigeria? I'm asking this question given the background on old gags and the young gags. So is it not time a party takes a position, whatever it may be, whatever you may say? We want a youthful representation for presidents. Isn't that what the SDP should be fighting for?
We're still saying the same. If you have that stance and the young people you are standing for are not really coming forth in full force to take over the position of getting there, what do you do? So what we are trying to advocate is this. As Riley said, the Congress, the convention is coming for. How do you elect these people that were present? How does this work? You work with numbers. Those times we are talking about, I know the issue we started having this problem by 1999, where we found out that the governance was taken over by people that have a lot of money. The main politicians stayed back. If you know the history how PDP came about after military rule. So within that period, politics became a game of trust funds. Who has more money can take over the leadership of the country. But as time goes on, you find that the thing is refining itself. The politics is refining itself. And we got to a point where I told you in 2023, the last election, I think is a culmination and understanding of views out of series of protests to understand that they really have this strength to make a change for themselves. Come to think of it, if a young person was to be president, we've had also young people that are copper. They have not really represented in elsewhere. So most times I also think it's about personality. We've also had girls that have not really represented us well as for people. They have not really brought that change and use our uniform. Because it's not that we'll not be given opportunities to rule. We've had people that in their 30s and their 40s. And if you go to their state, they will do worse than those people that are young, old cap. So I think it's about us as young people also having that mindset that we need to really change whatever that has happened in this country.
Well, as we wind down this conversation, I would like to know your assessment of democracy in Nigeria since the Fourth Republic.
I think democracy the situation is getting worse. I don't think you will be able to attain the height we need to attain. Most of the major infrastructures, I will tell you the tricks. Check it. Do you know most of the major infrastructures we are built during the military regime? Absolutely. And I cannot talk to myself that a road that should be built like from Kaduna to Kano, which like the former head of state Babangida built in 20 years, is taking over 20 years to be done in a civilian democratic governance. The Badagry Ibadan Expressway is taking 20-30 years to be done. And he started to say, what is wrong? What is wrong with this democracy? So it's all about leadership. I will not say that we have much better leader in military regime than the civilian regime. I think we need to really talk to ourselves. I don't want to say that democracy is not good. Democracy is the best because it's the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. Where your voice can be heard. As we're having this podcast, it is in the military regime we're not able to have it. So your voice can be heard where you have democracy. So it's good. But we need to also appraise ourselves, especially citizens, even as you're sitting down, to really get involved in these politics. Because when we shy away from it, that's where the bad people take control of this leadership and bring the worst people that will lead us.
You know, interestingly, June 12th is a great date and an altruistic period in Nigeria's democracy. And June 12th, you know, casts with the celebration of the commemoration of Democracy Day, everyone would have to cast their mind back to the June 12th election, the annulment of that election, and the role that the Social Democratic Party played for democracy to come to stay in Nigeria. And the good thing also is that right here with me is you, who is a member of the Social Democratic Party. So as Nigerians prepare for the commemoration of the Democracy Day or June 12th, what would be your words of advice? How far would you say that the Social Democratic Party has gone in its movement to ensuring that democracy remains strong in Nigeria?
Thank you so much. As you really know, from that 1992, SDP played a very strong role to bring democracy to where it is. I want to be clear, although we have given opportunity to work, the same insecurity, the same lack of social amenities, water, housing, is still persistent. I will say, we SDP have the opportunity, if we're given opportunity, we want to change this state that is ravaging this country. Because we'll be clamoring about it since that period till now. And the party is even much more stronger than it was in 1982 because it's a people-driven political party. We're giving, okay, I want to tell you something. The last time, all we want to do, I think is SDP is the only party that wants to do it. We want to make our registration online. As you're sitting down, you can become a party member. You can be voted for, I can vote. We want to open up the party for every Nigerians to be part of the process. You don't need to travel to your work to vote, to be a party member. You can sit down at the comfort of your house to be a party member, and you take opportunity and take positions. I get involved in this in the process of the politics. So today, SDP is bringing and is opening up to tell Nigerians that we are still saying that SDP is going to give Nigerians what will be clamoring for that. And June 12th is a very special day for the party. It was indeed that the party won election. And it was taken from there. And I want to remind Nigerians that for YouTubes, you need to reflect back.
Are there special programs being put together by the party?
There's a lot of programs. There are a lot of those that have been launched. The parties have the programs to commemorate the MKO, Rashid Abiola, for his impact in Nigerian politics and the party's social justice, because that's what the party belongs. That's what the party advocates for: social justice, equity, equitable distribution of wealth in the north and the south. So I want Nigerians to know that SDP is still open. And we want Nigerians to understand the ideology, which is to promote justice and to promote fairness for everyone in the world.
But we most sincerely thank you for your time with us, Dr. Uchechukwu Ogbonna, the National Youth Leader of Social Democratic Party. Well, I find your conversation quite interesting, especially because it's centered around the youth. And of course, we are youths, and we're also looking forward to a time that the leadership of this country will rely on our palms, and then we'll have the driving power to drive the wheels of politics and of course power in Nigeria, and also bring about the change that we have been yearning for. Well, it's always a pleasure having you, and I do hope that the conversation continues with you even outside the space. Oh, but you do remember that you can always be part of this conversation. All you need to do, as usual, is like and follow our page on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. It's LJE at LJE Nigeria. And remember that we'll always be here to answer your questions and of course give you some youthful and leadership-driven dialogues on this program, Leadership Dialogue Podcast. I am Chikodinaka Didi. I'll see you in. Bye.